Let's be honest, most men completely misunderstand what a woman is trying to say with her eyes. You've been taught to think it's simple. She's either flirting, being friendly, or maybe just staring. But here's the truth. Eyes don't lie. They are the windows into her hidden intentions, her attraction, her curiosity, even her judgment. And if you fail to notice the subtle language of her gaze, you are missing the secret signals that can change everything in your life, relationships, confidence, even your self-worth. Think about the last time a woman looked at you directly. Did your heart skip? Did a part of you feel a spark you couldn't explain? Or did you just awkwardly look away, pretending you didn't notice? That moment wasn't random. It's not just her looking at you, it's her evaluating you. From the moment her eyes lock with yours, she's unconsciously asking herself, is he someone I can trust? Is he someone I want to be around? Is he desirable? And here's the brutal truth. Most men answer these questions unconsciously with their own body language, tone, and energy, and most fail without even realizing it. When a woman makes direct eye contact, she's not just seeing you, she's reading your confidence, your composure, your emotional state. She's testing your boundaries without words, and every subtle twitch in your expression, every hesitation, every micro movement communicates volumes. If you flinch or look away too soon, she unconsciously registers it as insecurity. And that's one of the fastest ways to lose her interest before you even say a word. But if you can hold your gaze calmly, confidently, you're sending a message of dominance, stability, and emotional control. Suddenly, you're no longer just a man in her sight. You're a man of presence, a man of value, someone who can hold attention without needing to chase it. This isn't just about attraction, it's about perception. Every woman's eye contact is a puzzle of psychology. Some women stare because they are curious, some because they want validation, and some because they are subtly testing if you are awake to the dynamics that most men completely ignore. The rare few are not testing. They're genuinely intrigued, and these are the encounters that can shift the trajectory of your life if you know how to respond. Misread it, and the opportunity slips away silently. What's even more fascinating is how her gaze can trigger something primal in men. Direct eye contact releases subtle hormonal shifts, adrenaline, cortisol, even a spike of dopamine if your subconscious reads it as desire. This isn't coincidence, it's biology wired through millennia of human interaction. Women know this instinctively. That's why some eyes will burn into yours and leave a lingering effect you can't explain. That's why you feel a pull, a tension, a sense that something has changed even if she never speaks a word. So right now, I want you to start observing, not just looking, but noticing. Every glance, every lingering look carries a language most men never learn. And once you understand it, once you become fluent in what her eyes are really telling you, everything shifts. How women approach you, how they respond to you, how they desire you. Because let's face it, confidence isn't just about muscles, money, or words. Confidence is silent, subtle, and it begins the moment her eyes meet yours. Most men have no idea what happens in a woman's mind when her eyes lock with yours. They think it's a casual glance, a fleeting moment, but it's far from random. That look is her mind working in real time, scanning your energy, measuring your confidence, weighing whether you're worth her attention. And here's the catch, she doesn't say a word. Her eyes do all the talking. When a woman holds your gaze, it's a test of presence. She wants to see if you are anchored in yourself or if you crumble under her attention. Most men instinctively look away, feeling a surge of nervous energy that they try to hide. But let me tell you, the moment you turn your eyes away too quickly, she senses it. She feels the hesitation, and her brain interprets it as weakness. That's right. Just a single blink of insecurity can make her decide, without words, that you're not someone worth pursuing. The tragedy is most men never even realize they failed this silent test. Now, here's where it gets fascinating. When a woman's gaze lingers, her mind is evaluating not just who you are, but what you represent. She's reading your potential, your emotional stability, your ability to lead in life and in relationships. She's calculating whether you can create safety, excitement, and attraction simultaneously. If you flinch, fidget, or speak without grounding yourself, she registers it instantly. But if you can meet her eyes, steady, calm, unshaken, then something remarkable happens. Suddenly, you become more than just a man in her presence. You become a challenge. You become intriguing. You become magnetic. The most powerful part? You don't need to speak. You don't need a witty line or a smooth compliment. Eye contact communicates more than words ever could. It reveals authenticity. It conveys confidence. It signals that you are comfortable in your own skin, that you can hold attention without trying. And women notice. Always, even if she doesn't say it out loud, her brain is recording every detail, every nuance, every second you hold your gaze. She's subconsciously mapping your dominance, your emotional depth, and yes, your sexual energy. Here's something men rarely understand. This is not manipulation, and it's not a trick. This is natural psychology, hardwired through evolution. Women subconsciously use eye contact to gauge men, just like men respond to posture, tone, and subtle energy. But here's where most men fail. They let fear, insecurity, or overthinking break the moment. They miss the opportunity to connect on a deeper, almost primal level. And once that window closes, it rarely reopens the same way. So the next time a woman stares at you directly, resist the urge to look away. Ground yourself. Breathe. Feel the weight of her gaze without flinching. Let it pass through you without judgment. In that moment, you are showing her something no words could convey, that you are aware, present, and unshakable. You are signaling that you are not just another man. She is seeing someone rare. And once you understand this, once you can interpret the intensity behind her eyes, you begin to see patterns in female behavior that other men completely miss. Patterns that reveal attraction, curiosity, and interest long before any words are spoken. Patterns that allow you to act instead of react. Patterns that shift the dynamics of your interactions entirely. What most men completely overlook is the power behind a woman's lingering gaze. They think it's innocent curiosity or maybe a subtle flirt. But the truth is far more intense. When she looks at you directly, her mind is running calculations faster than you can even comprehend. She's measuring emotional stability, dominance, vulnerability, and attraction, all in a single glance. And if you don't understand the language behind her eyes, you are losing opportunities you didn't even know existed. Here's the reality. A woman's gaze can be teasing, challenging, admiring, or even judging. And often, it's all at once. Her eyes are a silent test. She wants to see if you notice her subtle cues without her needing to speak. Most men, blinded by nerves or overthinking, misread it entirely. They see a stare and think it's casual, when in fact she's sending signals about what she wants, what she's curious about, and even how she feels about your presence. Miss these signals and you're invisible. Recognize them and you're suddenly unforgettable. One of the most misunderstood aspects of female psychology is that women don't just look at a man, they probe him. Every fleeting glance, every hold of eye contact is a question. Are you aware of your power? Are you in control of yourself? Can you match my energy? And the men who fail this test often don't realize the moment it's happening. They look away, shift their weight, or respond awkwardly, signaling insecurity before she even opens her mouth. But the men who succeed, the ones who hold their gaze, who breathe through the intensity, suddenly occupy a space of authority. Without speaking, they communicate dominance, composure, and confidence. It gets even more fascinating when you understand desire. Direct eye contact often triggers primal attraction mechanisms. Her pupils dilate slightly, subtle micro-expressions flash across her face, and her body unconsciously leans in. This isn't coincidence. It's biology at work. Her gaze can tell you more about her level of interest than any text message or casual conversation ever could. And men who recognize this pattern gain an enormous advantage. They can respond deliberately rather than reacting blindly. They become the calm in the storm, the center of attention without needing to chase it. Here's the thing. Most men are conditioned to think women communicate mostly with words. That's a mistake. Words are secondary. Eyes reveal intent, curiosity, attraction, and even hesitation before she ever opens her mouth. A single lingering look can be more revealing than an hour-long conversation. It's subtle, yes, but those subtle cues separate men who are seen as ordinary from men who are magnetic. So when a woman looks at you, don't just notice, analyze. Observe the micro movements, the duration, the energy behind her stare. Is she assessing you, challenging you, testing your boundaries? Or is she silently attracted, wondering if you're someone worth her attention? Each possibility carries information, and your ability to read it correctly determines how far you'll go in relationships, attraction, and self-mastery. Remember this: the eyes never lie. They reveal everything your words cannot. They are the most honest form of communication you will ever experience. And the men who understand this gain an almost unfair advantage in life, love, and connection. Most men completely mishandle the moments that matter the most. They see a woman's direct gaze and panic. They smile nervously, look down, or say something meaningless to fill the silence. But here's the truth. That moment is a crossroads. It's a rare opportunity to communicate something far more powerful than words, something primal, magnetic, and unforgettable. The way you respond to her eyes can either make her crave your presence or retreat into indifference. When a woman stares, she's silently inviting you to show who you are. She wants to see composure under subtle pressure. She wants to witness confidence without arrogance. And she's scanning for emotional intelligence, for a man who understands her psychology even before she speaks. If you flinch, if you overthink, or if you try too hard to impress, you fail the test instantly. But if you remain calm, grounded, and aware, you communicate something far more valuable than charm. You communicate control over yourself and over the interaction. That's the kind of energy that makes a woman stop, pause, and feel something she can't name. Here's the secret most men never learn. It's not about staring back aggressively or trying to dominate her gaze. It's about presence, not power. Stand still, breathe slowly, and let her observe you without fear or neediness. Hold the gaze long enough for the tension to build naturally. Don't break away too quickly, and don't force a smile that doesn't exist. The moment becomes a subtle exchange of energy, an unspoken conversation where your calm confidence speaks louder than words ever could. The most magnetic men understand the push and pull dynamic that a woman's eyes create. When she holds your gaze and you hold yours, a silent tension builds. It's the kind of tension that sparks curiosity, intrigue, and attraction. She will start to wonder, who is he really? Why doesn't he look away? What is he thinking? And that curiosity is powerful. It draws her in without a single word being spoken. You are no longer just a man she sees, you are a man she's compelled to notice. Another critical point: this isn't about ego, it's about mastery. It's about understanding how human psychology works at a subconscious level. Women are constantly evaluating men, even when they appear relaxed or distracted. Direct eye contact is a tool for her to measure your essence. How you respond shapes her perception of you as a high-value man or someone ordinary, someone forgettable. Your energy, your control, your awareness, all of it communicates in those fleeting seconds. The rare men who understand this can create profound attraction almost effortlessly. They make women feel seen, respected, and drawn, all without a single line of dialogue. And once a woman is hooked on that presence, she will unconsciously seek it out again and again. She'll remember the way you held yourself, the calm strength behind your eyes, the subtle mastery that most men are too blind to notice in themselves. So the next time her eyes meet yours, don't flinch, don't force words, don't overthink. Be present, be steady, Let the tension build naturally. And in that moment, you are no longer just in her line of sight, you are becoming unforgettable. Most men completely miss the hidden language women communicate with their eyes. They see a stare and assume it's either flirtation or nothing at all. But in reality, every look carries subtle messages that can reveal attraction, curiosity, and even testing. Ignoring these signals is like leaving gold on the table. You're walking past the keys to understanding female psychology, blind to the opportunities right in front of you. The first signal to notice is intensity. When her eyes lock on you with focus, it's not random. She's evaluating you at multiple levels: confidence, stability, and the emotional energy you radiate. It's rare for a woman to sustain eye contact without reason. If she does, she's already curious, even if her lips are silent. The intensity of the gaze can vary, but the underlying truth is constant. She is processing whether you are someone she wants in her life, even if she isn't consciously aware of it. Next is duration. A glance that lingers longer than a split second isn't casual. It's a signal. Longer eye contact can indicate attraction or testing. She's observing your reaction, watching for insecurity, hesitation, or flinching. Most men instinctively break contact too early, sending signals of weakness. But holding your gaze subtly, calmly, conveys awareness and confidence. It's like speaking a language she didn't think you knew, a language of presence, dominance, and self-assurance. Micro-expressions are another hidden layer. The slight tilt of her head, a barely noticeable raise of the eyebrows, a subtle smile. These are all signals. They're unconscious, primal cues that reveal curiosity, approval, or desire. Most men miss these entirely because they are distracted by words, phones, or overthinking. But the man who pays attention to micro-expressions decodes her intentions effortlessly. He knows when she's intrigued, when she's challenging him, and when she's silently testing his boundaries. Another signal is blinking and pupil response. When a woman's pupils dilate slightly during eye contact, it's a subconscious sign of interest. Her energy is responding to yours at a physiological level. Similarly, if she breaks eye contact and then quickly glances back, she's evaluating your reaction. This is not coincidence. It's biological wiring that taps into attraction and subconscious emotional evaluation. Men who understand this can leverage it to maintain presence and subtle influence in the interaction. Finally, context matters. Her gaze alone isn't everything. It's paired with body language, tone, and situational cues. Crossed arms, subtle lean-ins, or slight smiles reinforce or contradict what her eyes are saying. The men who truly master female psychology observe the full picture, synthesizing eye contact with other signals to understand her unspoken intentions. By decoding these hidden layers, you gain insight that most men will never see, giving you an almost unfair advantage in attraction, influence, and connection. Recognizing these signals is only half the battle. The other half is responding correctly, holding presence, maintaining calm, and letting her see your awareness without trying to impress. When done correctly, this creates magnetic tension. It draws her in, makes her curious, and establishes you as someone she cannot forget. And here's the truth. Once you can read her eyes, you can predict her interest, navigate her tests, and respond in ways that most men wouldn't even recognize as possible. Most men never realize how much power they hold in moments as simple as eye contact. They see a woman staring, panic, and fumble the opportunity before it even begins. But when you understand the psychology behind her gaze, when you recognize the hidden signals and know how to respond, you're stepping into a level of influence, attraction, and connection that most men only dream about. The first principle is awareness. Every time her eyes meet yours, you have an unspoken conversation. She is testing your confidence, evaluating your presence, and measuring your value, all without saying a single word. Most men look away, overthink, or try to fill the silence with unnecessary words. But the man who understands sees the moment for what it is, an opportunity to show composure, self-assurance, and emotional mastery. Presence is magnetic. Calm is irresistible. And awareness is your secret weapon. The second principle is energy control. Her eyes can trigger subtle hormonal shifts, adrenaline, dopamine, even tension. This is why her gaze can make your heart race, your palms sweat, or your mind overanalyze. The men who fail let this energy control them. The men who succeed channel it. They breathe, ground themselves, and respond with steady energy. In that stillness, they communicate strength, stability, and unshakable confidence, and women feel it deeply. The third principle is response timing. The duration and intensity of your gaze matter as much as hers. Hold too little and you look insecure. Hold too much without subtle shifts and it can feel aggressive. But when done with rhythm, calm, and awareness, it becomes a dance of energy. You meet her curiosity, intrigue, and desire without saying a word. You signal awareness and composure, and suddenly you are no longer just noticed, you are remembered. The fourth principle is observation. Learn to read micro-expressions, subtle smiles, pupil changes, and body language. These are the windows into her mind. A slight lean in, a tilt of the head, a flash of curiosity in her eyes. They are clues, tiny pieces of a puzzle that reveal how she feels, what she's thinking, and how attracted she might be. Decoding these signals gives you insight that most men completely miss, putting you in a position of understanding before she even speaks. Finally, the ultimate principle is action. Awareness, energy control, response timing, and observation only matter if you act with subtlety, confidence, and presence. Let her see your calm mastery. Let her feel the magnetic tension between you. Let her wonder silently what kind of man can hold that energy, that awareness, that unspoken power. This is how attraction grows. Curiosity deepens and connection becomes almost inevitable. So here's what I want you to do. Think about the last time a woman held your gaze. Analyze it, understand it, and now answer this equation for yourself. If her eyes tell you her curiosity is 7 out of 10 and your confidence responds at a 9 out of 10, what energy does that create between you? Drop your answer in the comments. And don't forget, like this video, subscribe, and share it with a friend who needs to finally understand the language she's been speaking all along, because the eyes never lie, and now you know how to read them.